CP0 rings went back to the LA Clippers, and it started to get me thinking how much different the point guard position was last time Chris Paul laced it up for the Los Angeles Clippers. Now we're talking prime, early to mid 2010s, maybe even the peak of basketball. But today we're focusing more on the point guards aspect of the game. Now, of course, we had young guards coming up like Kyrie Irving, Stephen Curry, who were absolutely pioneers to the now current day evolution of the point guard. It all starts with Stephen Curry and his ability to extend the court beyond anyone's ever previous attempt. This is a guy that made players guard him respectably at the 30-foot line. However, the point guard position didn't used to be this way. Your point guard didn't used to be your best scorer on your team. In fact, it didn't have to be. They were tasked with one job and one very tough job: to guard the opposing team's best perimeter player and to be the commander in general of the offense. Chris Paul was debatably not even a top 2 scorer on that Clippers team. You had guys like Blake Griffin getting 20 plus a night and Jamal Crawford coming off the bench averaging 18 a game. This is a team that was loaded with scores, loaded with the exact pieces to be a successful team. However, they did not. But Chris Paul was very successful in himself, being a multiple-time all-defensive, all-NBA player, being a multiple-time true P candidate, but most importantly, showed off his prime point guard skills, and that were his ability to read and make the right play at the right time almost every single opportunity he was given. He was quick, shifty, had a top 3 handle in the league, but more importantly, his IQ was off the charts. We're talking about a point guard that was able to lead the league in steals per game and lead the league in assists per game, all while having the best assist to turnover ratio. He wasn't just dominating the court, he was making it his bitch. But when we move on to the NBA today, if your point guard isn't your number 1 or number 2 scorer, you have no real opportunity at success come regular season, let alone playoff time. You take a look at it now, the best team in the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder, their best scorer was their point guard. 10 years ago, that would never be the case. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander not only being the best scorer in the league this year, but being the best scorer at point guard got him exactly what his team needed, and that was a championship. You look around and that is the new blueprint to a ring. Relying on your point guard to just be the commander, to just be the initiator of your offense does not work. Teams like the Pistons have picked up on this with Cade Cunningham being their entire offense. Why has this happened, and is this good for basketball? To answer both of those questions, time comes with skill. You compare guys in the 90s to the guys today, they're going to flat out be more skilled. Guys now have even crazier, better training techniques than they did 20, 30 years ago. This makes the game better, quicker, faster, whatever it may be. But the turnout in how the game is played, now that is just a testament to the skill gap and skill change. We're seeing guards, we're seeing guys be basically positionless. The new NBA doesn't want a role player. And I don't mean role player as in an average player. I mean a guy that is asked to only do 4 or 5 things on the court. Now you're asked to do everything. You need to be a two-way, or you need to be an offensive juggernaut. Very few guys like Luka and Trae are really only the few like bad, terrible defenders that are going to still get playing time. This positionless basketball, this running the more spacing, running 5 out, allowing everybody to be in the perimeter, is now asking these players to do a shift in everything. They're asked to do more because they want more space. Now with this increase in space comes the alternative to now everybody needs to be able to dribble. Everybody needs to be able to do everything. So this isn't the fact that point guards are becoming less point guards. It's the fact that everything else has become more, and the point guard and traditional point guard, aka the Chris Pauls of this world, are just the last of a dying breed. Now this isn't to say that Chris Paul couldn't adapt to this new game, because he was still dominating as this turn and change was upbringing. Had Chris Paul had a different asking of him in his prime, we've seen him be a true superstar, a true number 1 scorer on his team like he was in New Orleans. On the Clippers, don't get me wrong, he was still getting buckets and he could still score. This isn't meaning that point guards weren't scorers back then. It just means that point guards weren't the best scorers on the team, and that's just the change in today. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, stay tuned. Peace.